1. A cat version of the corgi exists, the munchkin cat. 2. There's an opera house on the U.S. Canada border where the stage is in one country and half the audience is in another. 3. A group of bunnies is called a fluffle. 4. In 18th century England, pineapples were a status symbol and people rented them for parties to show off their wealth. 5. Albert Einstein's eyeballs are stored in a safety deposit box in New York City. 6. The metal part of a pencil that holds the eraser in place is called a ferrule. 7. The Spanish national anthem has no words. 8. A speck of dust is halfway in size between an atom and the earth. 9. Human thigh bones are stronger than concrete. 10. The average person walks the equivalent of 4 to 5 times around the world in a lifetime. 11. In 1923, a jockey had a fatal heart attack during a race, but his horse won, making him the only jockey to win after death. 12. The tallest man in recorded history, Robert Wadlow, grew to 8 feet 11 inches. 13. Rubber ducks lost at sea in 1992 are still found today, informing ocean current studies. 14. People in medieval England had rap battles, called flighting, where they would insult each other in verse. 15. Bees can fly higher than Mount Everest. 16. The first item sold on eBay was a broken laser pointer. 17. Everyone has a unique thumbprint, just like fingerprints. 18. In Australia, there is a river called the Never Never River. 19. The Boston Marathon didn't allow female runners until 1972. 20. The name Wendy as a feminine name was first used for the book Peter Pan. 21. NASA captured and recorded the sound of the sun, which resembles a meditative chant. 22. Crocodiles have the ability to climb trees. 23. The world's most expensive coin was sold at an auction for $18.9 million. 24. McDonald's once created bubblegum-flavored broccoli to encourage healthier eating habits in children. 25. The first iPhone was not developed by Apple but by Cisco. 26. South Korea has an emergency number, 113, specifically for reporting spies. 27. The inventor of Vaseline claimed to consume a spoonful of it daily. 28. Water produces different pouring sounds based on its temperature. 29. The founder of Atari also established Chuck E. Cheese. 30. The stapes bone, located in the ear, is the smallest bone in the human body. 31. The majority of your brain is composed of fat. 32. Kleenex tissues were initially invented as gas mask filters. 33. Before erasers were invented, bread was used to remove pencil marks. 34. Déjà vu is when a familiar situation feels strangely unfamiliar, opposite to déjà vu. 35. The word avocado originates from the ancient Aztec term for testicle, ahuacatl. 36. All giant pandas in zoos worldwide are borrowed from China. 37. There are more libraries in the U.S. than McDonald's restaurants. 38. The original Hollywood sign displayed the phrase, Hollywoodland. 39. The Reconquista was the longest war in history, lasting over 781 years. 40. When you open your eyes in a completely dark room, the color you perceive is known as Eigengrau. 41. The original Space Jam website from 1996 is still live. 42. Cotton candy was invented by a dentist. 43. A group of frogs is called an army. 44. A rhinoceros horn is made of hair. 45. The space between your eyebrows is called the glabella. 46. Some moths don't eat as adults because they lack mouths and rely on energy stored as caterpillars. 47. If you keep a goldfish in a dark room, it will eventually turn white. 48. Cranberries can be used as a natural dye for fabrics. 49. The Guinness World Records stopped recording the heaviest pets to discourage deliberate overfeeding. 50. The world's longest musical performance began in 2001 in a German church and is set to end in 2640. 51. The city of Boring, Oregon, is sister cities with Dull, Scotland and Bland, Australia. 52. Recycling one glass jar saves enough energy to watch television for 3 hours. 53. The first Bitcoin real-world transaction involved buying 2 pizzas for 10,000 BTC. 54. The human brain is the most energy-consuming organ. 55. A cornflake in the shape of Illinois sold on eBay for $1,350. 56. You are born with 300 bones, but by the time you are an adult, you only have 206. 57. Santa Claus was issued a pilot's license from the U.S. government in 1927. 58. The average American spends about 2.5 days each year looking for lost items. 59. The word school comes from the ancient Greek for leisure. 60. 27% of Americans 18 and older have cut off contact with a family member. 61. Will Smith is now older than Uncle Phil was at the beginning of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. 62. A sheep, a duck, and a rooster were the first passengers in a hot air balloon. 63. Alaska has a longer coastline than all of the other 49 U.S. states combined. 64. Ethiopia follows a calendar that is roughly 7 to 8 years behind the rest of the world. 65. Despite having the most venomous snakes, Australia only records 1 to 2 fatal bites yearly. 66. It is illegal to climb trees in Oshawa, a town in Ontario, Canada. 67. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter are all banned in China. 68. The only letter that doesn't appear on the periodic table is J. 69. The temperature inside a candle flame is about 1,400 degrees Celsius. 70. Before bloopers, outtakes were called boners. 71. In 2008, Norway knighted a penguin. 72. The feeling of getting lost inside a mall is known as the Gruen transfer. 73. Hair grows faster when anticipating sex. 74. Pointing your car keys to your head increases the remote signal range by using your brain as a radio transmitter. 75. Boanthropy is a psychological disorder where individuals believe they are a cow. 76. The famous line in Titanic, "I'm king of the world," was suggested by director James Cameron after multiple takes. 77. Dolphins sleep with one eye open. 78. Ronald Wayne, a third Apple founder, sold his 10% stake for $800 in 1976. 79. A woman survived a fall from the 86th floor of the Empire State Building after being blown back by wind to the 85th floor. 80. A cat's urine glows brightly under a black light. 81. High heels were originally worn by men. 82. Saffron is the most expensive spice in the world. 83. Tomatoes are native to the Americas, so tomato sauce was not known in Italy until the 16th century. 84. Belgium has a museum dedicated solely to strawberries. 85. Penguins have glands under their eyes to extract salt from seawater. 86. A bite from the Lone Star tick can cause people to develop a red meat allergy. 87. The parasite Toxoplasma gondii can only breed sexually in the intestines of cats. 88. In 1386, a pig was publicly hanged in France for the murder of a child. 89. No child has been harmed or killed by poisoned or dangerous Halloween candy. 90. Less than 1% of nuns in the U.S. are under 40, and the average sister is 80 years old. 91. The logo for the Royal New Zealand Air Force is the Kiwi, a flightless bird. 92. A woman who lost her wedding ring found it 16 years later on a carrot in her garden. 93. An epidemic of laughter broke out in Tanzania and subsided 18 months later. 94. Someone translated Dracula into Icelandic as a fanfic rewrite, which went unnoticed for over 100 years. 95. Birds are immune to the heat of chili peppers. 96. Most toilet paper sold for home use in France is pink. 97. New York City's East River is a tidal estuary, not a river. 98. Genuine leather is a distinct grade of leather and is the second worst type. 99. Bats save the U.S. over $1 billion a year in crop damage and pesticide by eating insects. 100. The blob of toothpaste on your toothbrush is called a nurdle.